Hey guys, so I kind of wanted to do a video, and it's been on my mind to do this video for a few days. I just haven't had the time to do it. So I have the day off tomorrow, so I decided that I'd do this video tonight, and because I can actually stay up and do it, and I don't have to like rush and go to bed. So yeah. So before I got married, I was living in a celibate life. I can't say that I always got it right. I can say that I fell a few times, but I always made sure I got myself back up and kept living in my walk in the way. Now, I'm always going to be honest with you. That's why I said I didn't always get it right. And so I can't say that I didn't, because a lot of you guys know that sexual sin has always been my downfall, because, hey, I went from living in a prostitution type lifestyle to being like, hey, let me keep myself pure. Not always the easiest task, especially when you just yearn for sexual relations, because that was the type of lifestyle that I lived in. And so yeah, but I tried my best, and there are so many things. There's a few things that I want to talk about when I talk about celibacy, because I learned a lot during the walk of living in a celibate lifestyle. So the first things first is living in a celibate lifestyle. I got to get to know myself. And who Jasmine was. I got to find out who I was. And so a lot of it is I got to focus on me. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't focused on a guy. I wasn't focused on, you know, like worrying about, you know, like, oh, you know, is this guy this? It was more about me. You know, it wasn't about pleasing a guy or getting the attention of a guy. I was more focusing on Jasmine and finding out who Jasmine was, you know, in my celibacy, you know, and finding who I was inwardly and healing inwardly, and you know, creating myself to be this person that, you know, who I always wanted to become. Another thing that was really great about living a celibate lifestyle was that when I was dating, you know, it gave me the time to actually listen and hear what a man was bringing to the table and trying to address to me, versus, you know, what I you know, versus, okay, well, I can go on the date and just sleep with the person. No, I was capable of having a conversation, listening to the person, and not worried about, okay, you know, I'm gonna have to give up my body after the fact that we go on this date or anything like that. So it was more about getting to actually know a person, you know, instead of it just being, you know, physical. It was more of a mental thing, because you can know a person very physically, but knowing them in a mental kind of understanding, more of an emotional understanding, is so much different than just having a physical connection. Because there's a lot of people in the world that, you know, anybody can have a physical connection, but to actually understand people, to actually have a relationship with them, to actually build and grow with them, that is like something so much different. Alright, so not only was I capable of getting to know people on a date, and it was so much easier because they respected me. They would pick me up, take me out on the date, we'd talk, get to know each other, and they'd bring me home. And then the only thing is that it kind of brings us into the next part, which can be kind of hard for a lot of people when it comes to celibacy, is that after, you know, going on a date with someone, or going out with them a few times, or not sleeping with them, a lot of people will reject you. And that is the one thing that was really hard about living a celibate lifestyle, because when you think about, like, when I had sexual relations with people and I wasn't living a sexual lifestyle, it was so easy to get someone's attention, because it was like, oh, look, they're looking at my body, they like, you know, being physical with me, oh, the attention, you know. But because you're not offering them your body, because you're not giving them that sexual you know, that sexual side of you, because you're not giving yourself to them, then, you know, they kind of want the sex. And so you get to see a lot of rejection, and you see that, you know, sometimes a lot of people just walk away because they want sex, you know, and it hurts because you're like, okay, well, you're not really into me. You're just into wanting to sexually pleasure yourself, or have sex with me. You know, it's about my body. You know, were you really into me? Were you really into my mind? Were you really into what I had going on with me? Or were you into just sleeping with me? You know, and so you could look at it in a bad light as, okay, there's rejection, but you can look at it in a good light because you're actually getting rid of someone who actually just probably just wants you for your body, you know, versus someone who really cares about you as a human being, as a person. So I suffered through a lot of rejection, because, you know, like, I would always dress up, look all pretty, have the smile, have the looks, and then they'd be like, oh, well, you know, let's Netflix and chill. Well, if we're going to Netflix and chill, we're going to watch the whole movie. And you're going to sit on this couch, and I'm going to sit on that couch, and then we're not going to be next to each other, you know, and, you know, afterwards you're going to leave, you know, because that's my Netflix and chill. I'm not chilling, because chilling brings children, and I don't want that. So those are some of that's like one of the biggest struggles, you know, that I had to go through, but it taught me how to respect myself and who was really there for me versus who was really there for my body. Because if you think about it, like in life, like I know that I'm a beautiful woman and I know that I'm a beautiful person, but at the end of the day, like when men look at me, a lot of the time it's just outer appearance. They don't try to see what's within me or what I'm about, or you know, what it is that I like, or, you know, it's just, it gets so frustrating because, you know, what I have learned in it is like, it's just like, oh, you're so pretty. Like I could say like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you know, a whole list of things that I like, that I want, that I appreciate, but they're so busy like, oh, you're so beautiful, you know, and that sexual attraction, just like, ooh, you know, like, and I wanna, you know, have sex with you. That's what it becomes. And it's just like, okay, well, you know, like, I don't want to be just a person who's on my back. I want you to know that I have goals, that I have, that I have dreams, that I have hopes, that, you know, there's things that I want for my life, you know, that there's a mind up here. Because I remember living a lifestyle where everything was so sexual and everything was like, okay, like, you know, I was sleeping around a lot, and, you know, it was never really like, I was smart, but I didn't really like put my mind into many things because I was so busy laying on my back, if that makes any sense. I was so busy like, okay, you like me? Here, like, have sex with me, you know, like, it was that simple, like, you know, like, it was just easy, you know, and I don't really enjoy the fact that I was an easy person, you know. You know, when in being celibate, you make yourself harder to get to. And sometimes the worst part of being celibate is that sometimes it's a game to people. They will chase you for a long time or for as long as they can to make sure that they can get you to be out of your celibacy. Like, they have no respect for you. It's just a game to them. Oh, can I take their virginity? Oh, can I get them to be out of celibacy? You know, like, it's just it's a game. It's not a good game because, you know, they'll try to fool you into, you know, laying with them, and then afterwards, you know, they won't really want you. They won't really care for you or value you. Now, there are some occasions where, you know, I've seen people do some really good things in my celibacy. Like I once, in my celibacy, was dating someone, and I woke up and they were sleeping on the floor, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're on the floor? Like, I was shocked, you know, like I knew they weren't going to touch me or anything like that, but they slept on the floor in the fact that they appreciated my celibacy and how I lived my life. And I really valued it. It really actually shocked me, because I didn't imagine that they would actually sleep on the floor because I was trying to live a lifestyle. Also, there's been men who, you know, like I said, I haven't always stayed within my celibacy, where, you know, they actually ask you, like, you know, like if this is, you know, if you're comfortable, if this is something that you would want to happen, you know what I'm saying? Because they want to respect you, and they don't want, you know, they don't want you to see you slip and fall and stuff like that, and get out of the lifestyle that you choose for yourself. So they, you know, like in the midst of maybe kissing or something like that, they'll ask you, oh, you know, like they want to make sure you're comfortable in something that, you know, you might want to not go forward towards, you know. Like, I know there's other people out there who don't, you know, kiss and stuff like that, like, but you have to think about the lifestyle that I came from. So, you know, in my celibacy experience, you know, I came from going from prostitution to, you know, trying to live in a pure lifestyle, not having sex with anyone. And I've actually had yeah, like I said, I've had some good experiences with my celibacy. I've had some bad experiences with my celibacy, but I think the best thing for me was being able to find myself through my celibacy, because I was more capable of finding out who Jasmine is and what Jasmine likes. And, you know, like there were days where I was like, okay, well, let me find out about me. And like I really had to say, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. And you know, within that, I was more capable of, like, when people tell me, hey, you know, let's do this, I can be like, no, I don't want to, and I'm not going to change my mind, or you're not going to make me change my mind about it, because, you know, this is not what I like, and this is what I do like. And, you know, I think that within that, you know, and soul searching and finding myself, I think that was one of the biggest things for me, because when I was younger, I would sway and do whatever it is that everybody wanted me to do and not have my own mind. And so, you know, I don't like that, because I want to be able to have my own mind, to be able to say, no, I don't like this, or no, I don't like that, you know, and not change my mind just because you think that I should, because I like to live a certain lifestyle, or I like certain things for myself, which, you know, maybe you like, you know, but I don't like that, you know. And for me, I think that one of the biggest things that I did not learn throughout my celibacy was how to deal with my sexual trauma that I still struggle with till this day. And I'm gonna actually find a way to fully try to recover from that. I'm still trying my hardest, and it still allows me to struggle, I'm not gonna say suffer, struggle with a lot of my anxieties and things that I still have, but I don't take medication or anything from that. I know that I have to get through it, and I know I have to learn how to process all that so that I can overcome the issue. But I know it's going to take me one step at a time. And I know with God, He'll only be able to help me. But that's one of the biggest things about living in celibacy, is that if you live in celibacy, you're more likely not having to deal with sexual struggles, because you're not putting yourself in situations that could bring you sexual trauma. And so because I was not celibate when I was younger. I put myself in several situations that brought me sexual trauma. And so due to that, you know, I struggle. But if I did not put myself in those situations, I would not struggle. But yeah, so now, see, because there's Dale. But Dale, he has to deal with all my little sexual traumas, so it's okay. He's been dealing with them for a long time, so it's all right. But yeah. But yeah, so you guys, that is my little rant about my celibacy, I guess. And I just wanted to share that with you guys, and some of the things that I went throughout my celibacy. And you know, it's good because you end up with no kids, and you get to experience some things like traveling and enjoying your life and getting to know yourself, and you know, enjoying life until you find someone who can enjoy your body with you and actually love on you and care about you. So I love you, I love you, love you guys. Until we meet again, God bless. Good night, guys.